or if you can ask somebody, I mean, whatever you like. Okay, so just let's first, it's 30 little minutes, now 20, I'm late, so it's now 26 minutes. Let's see if we can make the most of it. So body first, always the body, get the body in a conducive position. The body doesn't meditate, never get caught up in that idea. We're so addicted to our bodies, you know. If it feels good, we say, oh, I had a good meditation. That is not the criterion of a good meditation. The body needs to be in a good position, though. So just mentally check the points. First of all, if you're sitting cross-legged, it's obvious you have to keep yourself propped up, otherwise you'd fall over, so you're upright. But if we're in a chair, don't slump into the back of the chair. It's important to sit upright, hold yourself up, which means having your feet firmly planted on the ground. Body upright, okay? But at the same time as upright, have it relaxed. This is really important. If we sit upright, we then tense the muscles. So sit upright, but relax the muscles, okay? It's important. Shoulders upright, but relaxed. The hands in the meditation mudra or gesture, or just sitting, resting in your lap. But the traditional one is your left hand in your lap, palm up, and your right hand resting in the palm, and your thumbs touching, forming a triangle. Then your head is the key thing. Slightly tilted forward, chin tucked in, lips apart slightly, tip of the tongue behind the top teeth, resting by the palate there. That stops you from dribbling and having to swallow your spit all the time, especially when you're a serious meditator. And your eyes looking down, eyes likely closed maybe, and looking down as if you're looking along your nose towards the ground. So settle into this position now, just relax and settle into it. And then forget about the body. So why don't we start with just concentration. This first simple technique taught by the Buddha. Concentration means we're training the mind to stay on one thing. That's literally what that's what the technique is. Literally, we're training our mind to pay attention to one thing. And why would we want to do that? Because our mind, we know, is scattered all over the place. It goes from pillar to post. Okay, that's brilliant, Greg. So just keep it off now. When I'm ready, I'll tell you. Thank you so much. That's brilliant. Thank you so much. I'm happy you found it. So it's simple. Don't complicate it. The aim is not to have a good feeling. The aim is not to make the thoughts go away. It's simply to pay attention to something. And the example we're going to use is the breath. Technically, it's extremely simple, but to succeed at it is something else. So simply with strong determination for maybe 3 or 4 minutes, strong determination, I'm going to pay attention to my breath. And the breath, the sensation we're going to pay attention to, it can be different things, is the breath at the nostrils as you go in and out, breathing in and out. It's a general area of attention, simply with determination to keep the attention on that. So it won't stay there, or your thoughts will be so vivid and so interrupting. But the key is to not make the thoughts go away. This is a crucial point. Don't make the thoughts go away. Don't think they shouldn't be there. You're simply using your power of determination to watch the breath and not watch the thoughts, not to engage in the thoughts. That's the point. Don't engage in the thoughts. Allow them to be there. Allow them to come. Allow them to go. Don't interfere with them. Just mind your own business and watch the breath. That's it. Every time you wander off, you bring your attention back to breath. Every time you wander off, you bring your attention back to the breath. That's the job. 3 quality minutes. Just the breath. Bring your attention back to the breath. Let the thoughts be there. Come and go, let them go. Okay, so now with this concentrated mind, let's do this little meditation, blessing the speech. We can have it up now, Greg. So the point of this, the background to this technique, I mean, it's a curious one. We don't do such types of meditation, I think, in modern culture. It sounds very peculiar, you know. So the background to it is because we can see what we're trying to do using Buddhist techniques is control, is learn to harness, is learn to change our mind, basically, from delusions and fears and dramas to positive states of mind, training the mind to become like that. But the first job really is to control the servants of the mind. This sounds cute, but it's quite profound. If we look at the world, we can see clearly the body and speech do the trouble. The body and speech do the good things as well. But look at the harm the body and speech do. Killing, stealing, raping, lying. Body and speech do that, but what drives them is so obvious. It's the mind. That's the more advanced one, to train the mind. So first we have to control the body and speech. Our speech, particularly for most of us, we don't kill and steal and rape too many people, but our speech is usually utterly uncontrolled. You know, we vomit out whatever we feel. So the first level of practice is to use our mental energy, use our determination to control the speech. Then we can control the mind. So this is a marvelous practice. It's very quaint and cute, but it's a marvelous practice of purifying our mind, and by reciting the Sanskrit syllables. It's said that these sounds that make up all the mantras are said to be so powerful. Okay, we've got to look into that, you know, but this is the idea. So one way of purifying our speech is by being silent. Another way is to say positive words. Just be positive, say virtuous words. But this is a very potent way, all the lamas would say, reciting the syllables which make up the mantras. This is literally purifying our speech, which therefore also purifies our mind. That's the background to this little practice, which I love. So we first have this little prayer of refuge. I take refuge in the three jewels. May I become a Buddha to benefit all. I take refuge in the three jewels. May I become a Buddha to benefit all. Konshog, Sumla, Kyabsu Chi, Jola, Penche, Sangye, Shog. So now just meditate. I'll lead the meditation. So visualize, first of all, Buddha above our crowns. Just sitting in his classic form, you know, sitting on a lotus, in his golden light body. So now imagine on your tongue, the Sanskrit syllable ah, obviously the Roman letters, if you don't know the Tibetan or Sanskrit, just AH, on the top of your tongue, standing upright. Imagine. So on top of that, so then on your, so now it's, sorry, I missed, the ah is sitting on a moon disk on your tongue. A moon disk is like a flat white cushion. The ah on a moon disk on your tongue. No, I'm sorry, I'm completely wrong. Start again fresh. There is an ah, and it turns into a moon disk. Please forgive me. It turns into a moon disk. So on your tongue is a moon disk, a flat white cushion. Now on top of that is a white om standing upright. So now surrounding the om, going clockwise, are all the white vowels. We obviously just have to imagine, if we don't, know the Sanskrit or the Tibetan, just imagine surrounding clockwise, standing upright, all the white letters. Clockwise. Now surrounding them are the red consonants, and they're going counterclockwise. And then surrounding them are all the blue syllables of the dependent related heart mantra, or you could say it's the mantra of dependent arising. They're circling clockwise, blue, around the red consonants, which are circling the white vowels, all on your tongue. Imagine. So now imagine lights go out from all these syllables, and it could be the same color as the syllables, white, red, and blue. Light goes out to all the 10 directions. And what it does is kind of imagine it hooks the energy of all the powerful, purified, virtuous speech of all the Buddhas, all the Bodhisattvas, all the yogis, even all the ordinary people who are practicing virtue. Imagine us hooking this power of all the amazing holy beings around the universe. And as Rinpoche says, this is, and all those who are engaged on the path, and all those sages who have achieved the power of words, who have actualized the words of truth, which means their mind is now in sync with wisdom. And so whatever words come out of their mouth are perfect. And this is, we don't think like this, but think of it, it's very logical. Words are simply the expression of what's in the mind. We know immediately if someone's crazy when we hear their words. If they make no sense, clearly it's coming from their mind, isn't it? So the words that come out of the mind, of the mouth of the Buddhas, the Bodhisattvas, they're powerful words and appropriate words and wise words, virtuous words, helpful words. We want that for ourselves, So imagine full of all this power coming back and all these lights absorbing back into the syllables on our tongue, filling them with this power, making them radiant and like almost like delicious nectar about to melt. Imagine this. So now as we recite the first lot, so you can open your eyes and look now, you can recite, we'll start with the vowels on the bottom line there. We visualize white nectar dripping from these delicious vowels, filling our entire body with this white nectar. And in this case, we imagine it totally purifies all the suffering of our bodies, all the sickness and suffering and pain, but also, crucially, it purifies all the karmic imprints stored in our mind from all the countless actions we've done in the past of harming others with our bodies, all the karmic seeds left behind. So imagine all of this purified. How amazing, as we recite the vowels 3 times. Om a a u I om a a I u ri ri li li e o ang a swaha. Om a a I u ri ri li li ang swaha. Om a I u ri ri li li e o ang swaha. Totally full of this radiant white nectar, completely purifying all our negative, all the imprints left from our negative, from the actions done by our bodies, and all the pain and suffering of our bodies now totally purified. So delighted. Now we visualize the red nectar coming from the red consonants on our tongue, dripping down and up and filling our entire body. And this time purifying all the suffering of our speech, all the rubbish speech, all the karmic imprints left from past wrong speech, but also all the habits right now, the habits for uncontrolled speech, uncontrolled speech that is arrogant or untrue or, just rubbish speech, critical speech, all of this totally purified by this blissful red nectar, annihilating. Because you see, everything is a dependent arising, therefore nothing is set in stone. Everything can be purified. There's nothing that can't be. That's why everybody possesses Buddha nature. So be so delighted, this red nectar filling us, completely purifying all the karmic imprints of wrong speech and all the present ridiculous habits, uncontrolled speech, totally full of this blissful red nectar. Om ka 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 ga om ka 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 ga nga cha 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 janya ta 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 dana ta 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 dana pa pa ba ba ma yara lava shasha sahaksha swaha. Om ka 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 ga nga cha 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 janya ta 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 dana ta 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 dana pa pa ba ba ma yara lava shasha sahaksa swaha. Om ka 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 ga nga cha 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 janya ta 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 dana ta 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 dana pa pa ba ba ma yara lava shasha sahaksa swaha. Full of this blissful red nectar, all the nonsense speech purified, all the past imprints purified. Totally delighted. This red nectar filling us. So now as we recite the syllables of this mantra, dependent arising, which of course helps purify the mind, especially this helps us realize emptiness, which is what cuts all the delusions. Finally, as we recite this radiant blue nectar, blue like the sky, fills us completely and purifies the ego grasping, the root delusion that clings to the vivid, concrete, solid, pointable, findable, set in stone me. This is the most nightmarish delusion, the deepest one, which then gives rise to this intense, unbelievable emotional hunger, this attachment to get what that me wants, which then gives rise to aversion, upset, annoyed, or deep depression, or anger, all of these symptoms, all of these expressions of this aversion, depending on our personality. And then all the other delusions that cause us so much suffering and so much pain, and therefore cause us to harm others. All of these, the Buddha has found, are not set in stone. They're not intrinsic. They're not at the core of our being, simply because they are misconceptions. And misconceptions can be argued with and therefore annihilated from the mind. This is the amazing thing that Buddha has found. So imagine all these nonsense conceptual thoughts completely eradicated by this blissful blue nectar filling us. Om ye dhamma hetu pabhava hetun te shan tatagato yavadat te shan chayo nirodha evam vadi maha shamana yesvaha. Om ye dhamma hetu prabhava hetun te shan tatagato yavadat te shan shayo niroda evam vadimaha shramanaye svaha. Om ye dhamma hetu prabhava hetun te shan tatagato yavadat te shan shayo niroda evam vadimaha shramanaye svaha. Full of this radiant blue nectar. So delighted. The suffering and pain of the delusions is gone. Imagine this. So now we imagine that these blue syllables on our tongue, they dissolve into the red consonants. The red consonants dissolve into the white vowels on our tongue. And then the vowels dissolve into the white om. The white om kind of melts into the moon disk. And then the moon disk, the white moon disk, transforms into an R standing upright. And now you imagine that turns into pink colored nectar. And that nectar dissolves into your tongue. It becomes indestructible. Nothing can harm it or take away destroy the power of the speech, especially of mantra. And then have strong confidence, that all the power and the blessings of the speech of all the Buddhas, all the Bodhisattvas, all the sages, all the yogis, all the holy beings have entered your speech, and that your speech is perfected. Think, I have perfected my speech. The minute the sentient beings hear me, you think it pacifies their emotional suffering, it helps them become strong, and whatever you say will, in other words, benefit people. And then everything you say, if you have will be actualized. You'll get whatever speech is the way we communicate. Without it, we're useless, So powerful. We need it to be powerful in our daily lives. So now I think, the power of your speech becomes marvelous. Whatever you say, all your recitations, your mantras and so on are multiplied by millions of times. And your speech will never become just like rubbish speech, like gossip, Be so happy with this. We need it. It's an unusual way to think. We don't think like this in modern culture. We can sit and we listen, we hear it. When we hear it, it makes sense. So be so delighted. So now this sweet little dedication prayer. We say, may my tongue have all the courage of the ones gone to bliss. By the power manifesting from these glorified words, may all sentient beings be subdued. And whatever words I say, may all these actions be accomplished instantly. The Bodhisattvas and Buddhas this is the point. They need to benefit the world. We need to benefit the world. So the other way to purify your speech is just control it. Don't say it, the negative ones. Of course, eventually then we have to control our mind, and that's the hard job. So first the body and speech, at least we don't make a mess that way. Then we can control our mind, And we can't control our mind because it's so intense. So the key thing to do, take it down, yeah. The key thing to do is just a bit of advice before we finish. We're so scared of our thoughts, We hear all these crazy thoughts and we're very scared of them because we set them in stone. So the ideal is to control the thoughts, and we eventually can do that. At least control the body and speech, then control the mind. And at least if we can't control the thoughts, the miracle thing to do, the job we have to do, the job we find so hard, is to don't believe what they are saying. This is the miracle practice we have to learn to do. We suffer tremendously because we hear all the thoughts, and it's like these crazy people living in our head. We believe every word they say, so then we go mad. So we have to hear the thoughts, they're old habits, but don't believe them. Let them come and let them go. Don't buy into them. Don't buy into them. That's a major step forward. That's a major practice to do. Don't be scared of them. That's it, people. Time to go. A few seconds and timer's gone again, but we made most of 30 minutes. Okay. Never give up, never give up, never give up. Thank you so much for handling everything, Greg. You're great. Thank you, sweetheart.
Thank you, Jennifer.